So Mexico, hands down, is one of the best residencies or permanent residencies to acquire in Latin America. But what are the alternatives? If you pick Latin as a region, what are the top one or two or three residencies that you can obtain in 2026? I want you to rate these and compare and give you my picks why I feel I'm rating them in that order. So, what are the different options? What countries provide you with a direct permanent residency? Paraguay provides direct PR. Uruguay provides a direct permanent residency. Mexico, of course, provides a direct PR. Argentina has a TR. It used to be one of the top options talked about on this channel, but in 2026, things have slightly changed, which make other residencies more of a choice. Then we have Panama, which is a stable and reliable option with a lot of tax advantages. Uruguay, Paraguay, Panama, Mexico, and potentially Argentina for someone looking for a faster path into citizenship. The four that I mentioned, I don't have physical presence requirements to satisfy the residency, to keep the residency alive. Yes, if you're looking for citizenship, then you want to have more connections to the country, so the physical presence would matter more. But let's first start off with Uruguay. And the reason why this video becomes a lot more important is because of the situation in the GCC region. You're seeing what's happening with UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman. All those countries are heavily being impacted, and we cannot criticize those countries because, again, they criminally prosecute content creators trying to take that step. Now, some content creators and Instagram influencers try to post videos and images of what they were seeing, but again, as I said, GCC, some of those countries forbid that. They don't want that information to put their country in bad light. We don't want to get into the whole free speech. That all depends upon country to country. Each country decides what level of free speech is acceptable and what's not. So without kind of going in that direction, let's quickly pivot, and that's one of the big reasons why these residencies are so crucial, and especially paper residencies with no real golden visa fees, except maybe Panama. Uruguay has a direct PR. The monthly requirements are $1,200, and I've covered this extensively with my head of legal. She has walked us through this whole process. Our team in Uruguay takes care of different things for this, and you can obviously return and take a look at that video in the library. But in a nutshell, $1,200 of monthly income, you qualify, you get the direct PR. It's a paper residency. Enter once in every 3 years and you maintain the PR. If you're looking to convert this into citizenship, then you have more connections to the 6 months of physical presence each year, and then after 3 years you can apply for citizenship, or in some cases 5 years, and then you apply for citizenship. Similar deal in Paraguay, except that Paraguay does not require any specific monthly income to qualify. Pretty much, if you have a visa-free access to Paraguay, then you can obtain this residency from inside. And we have a team in Paraguay that takes care of the whole process. In fact, we specialize in combining the two options. So with the same set of documents, you can sequence these. There's a specific order that you need to follow to get this done correctly. So Uruguay and Paraguay can be done on the same trip. Then there is Panama, and Panama has a lot of options for, and depends upon which nationality you're coming from. If you are on the friendly list of countries, then the requirements, the threshold is lower. It's 200K for a direct permanent residency. Bump it up to 300K and you open it up for other nationalities. In that case, you're looking at purchasing a property in Panama. With the friendly nations, it could be a bank deposit. There's also multiple options where you can directly secure the passport, and not the citizenship-based passport, but the residency-based passport, which works just like a citizenship-based passport in most countries. So that's an option. In Panama, it's more expensive. There's golden visa style investment that's required, because we're talking about 200K and 300K plus. Whereas in Uruguay and Paraguay, you don't have any of that. In Mexico, I'm going to cover this extensively with my head of legal, the direct PR process. I'm going to walk you through the whole immigration process. So if you're subscribed, you're going to see that video. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. And then finally, let's talk a little bit about Argentina. And then I'm going to rank these options based on what I feel makes sense. Argentina used to have a 6 months of physical presence requirement on the residency, and then after a couple of years, which is 1 and 2, you apply for citizenship. Straightforward process, and we have a team in Argentina which takes care of all these applications. But now the law has changed. They were saying that they want to see more solid integration in the society. So if your plan is to move to Argentina, stay put, stay solid, locked into the country for 2 years, you can still apply for citizenship. This is still one of the fastest possible natural ways of acquiring citizenship in Argentina. The moment there's any progress on the Argentinian CBI, if you are subscribed, you will be the first one to be notified. And I promise you that that's coming down the road. It's not yet live, but we are tracking that very closely with our direct partners for the program. And then how do I rank these options if I had to rank them? According to me, I think the number one ranking option from this list is Uruguay. Second one is Mexico. Third one would be Panama. And the last one would be Paraguay. Paraguay used to rate or rank slightly higher, but since they have heavily cracked down on the crypto, they've come up with new crypto regulations, and I've talked about this extensively. Why this has this is a non-option for a lot of people these days. And finally, I would rate Argentina the last, because again, this is only good if you're looking for citizenship by staying in the country. This is not going to work as a paper residency. In 2026, the two top choices that you should not look away from, and this is not immigration advice, this is my personal opinion, is Uruguay and Mexico. If there were one or two countries in Latin America, these have to be the two that I would definitely look at, consider, and obtain. And then there's a miscellaneous one that is really climbing up the charts for the rankings, is Mauritius. Super safe country, a lot to do. English speaking country. That's a huge bonus for someone who just wants to deal with English as the main language for communication. Again, there's no golden visa fees in Mauritius. There is a golden visa option which makes life easy, but it's not necessary. You can directly get a permanent residency based on your age. If you're 50, if someone in your family, let's say your parent is 50, they can acquire the direct Mauritian permanent residency. Grab it while it's still available, because in future these options go away. So that's one option. The second option in Mauritius is through opening a business bank account. You deposit $50,000 in that business bank account, and we help you open up all these different requirements, the bank account, etc. And then you qualify for a permanent residency in Mauritius. The third one is more like the golden visa style, where you purchase a property worth 375k USD, and that way you can acquire the residency card. It's a permanent residency. And then let's say you bump it up by another 125k and make it 500k, you can potentially enter the fast track to Mauritian naturalization after 2 years. Is this 100% certain? Well, we don't know. A couple of clients are trying this out, and they're going to find out, so they're in the pipeline. If you're anyways going to purchase a property and diversify, you can try this, test it. It's written in the Constitution. The process, the citizenship process, can't beat Mexico, of course. In Mexico, it's lightning fast. It's very certain. Again, it comes nowhere close to Uruguay. So Mexico and Uruguay, that's the reason we're ranking these very highly, is because the citizenship process is more administrative. It's not discretionary like in some EU countries. EU is dead for that reason. A lot of EU countries now don't. They say that they have the citizenship process. They do, but they just make it almost impossible to acquire it like in the Asian countries. So the world is going backwards, I feel, in some ways. And that's where the Latin residencies shine big time. All right, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed, and catch you in the next one.